There's so much content now, and there's so many different ways to consume that content. It actually heightens our role and our position, because you need someone to cut through all of that. We like to put it on screen first and shine that light, and then help it build its audience.
It's that time of year. Usually guys are on the radio calling in with this, but we're not on the radio anymore, so I'm so happy to be here in your home base, Philadelphia Film Center, to talk about this year's 28th Annual Philadelphia Film Festival. Please introduce yourselves for those who don't know.
Andrew Greenblatt, Executive Director at the Philadelphia Film Society.
I am Michael Lerman, the Artistic Director of the Philadelphia Film Society.
Okay, so, and you guys have been doing this for so long. What is so special? What are you excited about this year as opposed to previous years? What we should be on the lookout for?
I mean, I would start by saying it's just a great lineup. You know, it's like every year we think it's a great lineup, we hope it's a great lineup, but this year I feel like it's an unusually strong year. So that's the most exciting thing, to be honest with you, is like, even if we don't change big policies or sections or any of that stuff, and we've done some of that, I think the biggest thing that the most exciting thing is always the quality of filmmaking. So we are in a boon of filmmaking right now. So.
At the same time, I am excited about our changes.
Yeah.
We've changed a lot of the names of categories to reflect more of our year-round programming. So this is almost the launching point. What was Documentary Showcase is now nonfiction. What was American Independence is now Made in the USA. What was World Narratives is now Worldview.
Yeah, which will also be what Passport to World Cinema is going forward in the year-round. So.
And then the other two will continue year-round too. Yeah. What was Graveyard Shift is now After Hours, which will continue year-round and is already advertised in the book. And then we've brought back State of the Union, political films. It's very timely this year. And we have a Visions of China category this year, which is really exciting for the first time.
Right. Well, the first thing I noticed is the breadth and depth of the films. It seems like has more international flavor this year than in previous years, maybe the last couple of years.
We try. I mean, I think every year we try, but some years we really get it. You know, some years we're hitting more countries and we're hitting more kind of diverse voices, which is what we always want to be doing. It's what we're interested in, but. Some of that is also, it's quality dependent. It's kind of what's available to us, and you can chase something forever and it may never come to you. So it's that sort of thing too.
Right. So what are some of the highlights? Give me 5 movies that you're excited are coming to Philadelphia for the first time.
Do you want to start?
We're excited about the whole program. It's 120 films from more than 40 countries. 115 or 117 of them, depending on the way you look at it, are Philadelphia premieres. That little asterisk of those last two, we have our From the Vaults category, which are films that are either celebrating an anniversary or we're showing in memoriam of someone. And 2 of the 5 in that category, Blue Velvet and Audition, are brand new 4K prints that have also never been seen in Philadelphia. And we're excited to show them with our brand new 4K projector right back there. With all the premieres, we're thrilled by the entire lineup.
It's always hard to kind of pick out 5. We could sit here and
I'll throw some out for Reelblack.
Yeah, I can throw out
the interest of our viewers.
Yeah, I could throw out a bunch of titles.
Your opening night film is Just Mercy.
Yeah, Just Mercy. It's an incredible story of a black attorney who moved to Alabama to help get primarily black men off death row. Who he felt was being wrongly accused, and it's a powerful movie. It's got great performances from Jamie Foxx, and Michael B. Jordan, and the real Bryan Stevenson, the real guy it's based on, will be here with us. He's from Delaware, and he's coming in to talk about the movie.
Right, and there's another, I guess, death row social justice film that has some local connection.
Yeah, I really love this film. It's by a filmmaker named Chinonye Chukwu, and it's just a really powerful story about capital punishment, but done from the perspective of a black female warden, played by Alfie Woodard, who's incredible in it. So, and it's made by a Temple grad. So and won the U.S. Dramatic Prize, Narrative Prize, Grand Jury Prize at Sundance. So
first female filmmaker, first American,
first African American
female filmmaker to win that. Yes.
Yep. So what more could you ask for there? Yeah. Another film I would highlight for your viewers is a film called Waves by Trey Edward Schultz.
He's a young guy.
Yeah, he's a young guy and lives in Orlando. Co-wrote it with Calvin Harrison Jr., who is incredible and who was seen this summer in Loose and many other up-and-coming things. He's a really, really talented actor. It's about a black family outside of Orlando experiencing tragedy. And it is beautiful and searing and experiential and powerful and already one of the most best reviewed movies of the year. And I think much like Moonlight, I want to be careful how I say this because, I don't want to set expectations too high, but it's one of these things where it comes out of nowhere and people, we were big fans of Medicine for Melancholy. It's the thing that played in the festival, and this is what we liked about doing our job, is tracking filmmakers from the beginning. But I think, it'd been a long time since Barry Jenkins had made a movie, and for a lot of people, that movie came out of nowhere. I think come November, everyone will be talking about Waves. So if you really want to talk about it first, this is the place to be talking about it. And great performances by people like Sterling K. Brown and Renee Goldsberry, who was in the original Hamilton cast, and obviously Calvin is incredible.
Well, Andrew, I know you. I mean, I see your Instagram. You travel worldwide. You both travel globally to bring the cream of the crop to Philadelphia. Now, I think a lot of people, especially if they're watching this on YouTube, they're conditioned to wait for the stuff to come downstream. But can you speak to like the excitement of seeing a movie first, coming to the festival, and some of the guests that are going to be here this
There is nothing like it. There's nothing like it.
You've watched films at home versus in a theater, and there's an emotion in a theater. It's a communal emotion. Mm-hmm. A horror movie is never as scary as when you're in here and you hear people gasping. A drama is never as emotional as when you hear sniffles from all around you and you're feeling it. A comedy is by far never as funny as when everyone around you is laughing. There's a reason you go to a theater, and it's for that communal shared experience. The festival is the most heightened level of that because you've got everybody here because they love film, they're excited, they're taking risks, they're seeing things they've never seen well in advance of when anybody else is going to see them. They talk to each other in the lines, they share tips, they share reviews, they share what they're looking forward to. They become friends that then hang out for the rest of the year. It's incredible. That's what the festival delivers. It's what watching film in a theater delivers. It's why we double down on that. It's why we have the Roxy, and then we add the Film Center. It's why we have a year-round curated program in addition to all of the first run. We believe in the power of film. We believe in the power of film in theaters. It's not that we have anything against the streamers. We love the streamers. Mm-hmm. We work with the streamers. There's 6 or 7 films from Netflix.
But I would say that also in a lot of ways we are the opportunity to see some of those movies in a theater. So I think that part of the reason, I think we have a responsibility to work with streamers for that reason. I think there's a responsibility to be the theatrical side on some of those movies. I would also say that when we go to all these places, we go places like Cannes, and you walk into movies in Cannes, you have no idea what it's going to be. You might have one sentence synopsis or something like that, but it's often written by the filmmaker. And I've gone to screenings where the entire synopsis is just poetry, right? And you get the experience of discovery. And I think as much as we can, we're trying to recreate that experience for these audiences as often as possible. So when I talk to you about a movie like Waves, that's a movie that is great, and you can read about it in certain places, but it's not all over the press here yet. And discovering something like that, with not much expectation, we tried really hard when you read the catalog synopsis to not give too much away, and just the pure experience of figuring it out for yourself and feeling those emotions for yourself, not because someone told you to, but because they're right there, right in front of you. And discovering how great something is, there is nothing like that.
Well, I definitely want to delve more into how the festival circuit or the experience of watching films in cinema has changed. Yeah. But before we jump to that, there's a lot of local connection as well in this festival. Some of the guests are quite impressive. One of our Sixers has executive produced the film.
We're excited. Yes, Ben Simmons is executive producer of The Australian Dream. It's a film about Adam Goodis, who is the most successful Australian rules football player in the history of the sport. but it's also a film about class and a film about racism. And while it is centered in Australia and the troubles they have there, it's a universal story for many countries, including our own. And you can see why Ben would be attracted to it, and we're happy to have him here talking about that. But you can also see why we think it's important to show. It's part of a theme that runs throughout the festival. But it's exciting to have Ben coming. It's exciting to have that film in the festival.
Right. There's a film about the Eagles as well, Philadelphia Eagles.
Yes, there is. It's about the Eagles fans, to be clear. Yes, maybe next year. It's a film made by kids from Drexel, and they wanted to shoot this film about Eagles fans, knowing how passionate they are, and how the Eagles never win. It's always maybe next year they'll win, maybe next year something's going to go wrong, maybe next year, and they just happened to start shooting this film in 2017, and they capture that that skyrocket of a season until Carson goes down, and then immediately everybody starts again saying, "Oh, maybe next year." But then this is that year, and they capture the entire
Super. That whole roller coaster again.
They do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he wants to spoil the ending for people. That's the real.
How am I going to spoil it? Everybody's seen that.
It's a joke. It's a joke.
I will say, if you're an Eagles fan, bring tissues. I was very sad.
Look, I think what we do as an organization is try to bring different views of the world and different views and perspectives and characters that you may never see before. At least put them in front of you up on screen. We can't transport everyone to Africa for films like Flatland, which is an incredible piece of work, and everyone should see it. But it's giving a different perspective on many things in the world from just that movie alone. Maybe next year's the rare case, and I think in its own special way, the case in which we are putting the audience will also be. It's a movie about the audience for the audience.
That's true.
In that way.
It's going to take you right back 2 years ago, and you're going to remember exactly where you were when every one of the subjects in the film is experiencing the Super Bowl. Right. You're going to remember that right there.
Right.
I just so happen to be sitting here for the Super Bowl, so it'll be even more emotional.
Oh my goodness! So, and then the one I'm most excited about, I'm a big firm believer in giving people their flowers while they're alive. You got a Frank Stallone documentary.
We do have a Frank Stallone documentary.
I'm like that pointed to you.
I know.
Andy's a big Frank Stallone fan.
I think I might have been the first person to watch this doc. I think, and I think it's great. I mean, I love things that have ties to Philadelphia, whether or not they're in our Philadelphia section or they have different ties. Things like The Irishman has a tie, or obviously we just talked about Australian Dream. But Frank and Sylvester, they grew up here. They weren't born here, but they grew up here. And God knows Rocky is more inherently tied to Philadelphia than almost any real life sports athlete we have.
Except Ben Simmons.
Except Ben Simmons, right? But to be in the shadow of Rocky and build a career is a really interesting story, and to watch how Frank's done that, and to really relive that, and to see Sylvester Stallone in the doc, to see Schwarzenegger in the doc, and Daryl Hall, and all of these people. It's a really fun film, and then to have Frank coming and talking about it is going to be particularly cool.
Well, that's what I'm excited about, the actual experience. Like your favorite movies. It's not just the movie itself. You remember where you were when you saw it, who was with you, and all those things. I've had so many great experiences at the Philadelphia Film Festival. But I mean, from your perspective, how do you see in like the last 10, 15 years, the experience of watching movies and the diversity, the range of films that are now available? What are the changes that you're noticing, and where do you project this going as people who are running not only the film festival but the Philadelphia Film Society?
I'm probably not the best person to answer this question, and I'll say that because for the last 10, 15 years, we've been doing this, right? So we go to the same cities every year and see movies there, and the festival experience in that way hasn't changed. I will say that, obviously, the digital medium makes things different for people at home to experience things like that, which I think, in a way, and I was kind of touching on this with Netflix, but it's like it makes us more of a rarity, which makes us kind of a more interesting commodity, because it's not like the number of these films that you'll be able to go to the Ritz and see later or come to the PFC and see later, it has waned. And most of them will go up on streaming platforms or won't be released at all, in the States or that sort of thing. The business has shifted in that way. That said, I think that like it's still, things are still being made for this medium. So we have the genuine intention, you know what I mean? Like you mentioned the 3 volts titles that are on 35 millimeter. Being able to see those on 35 millimeter is special because you never get to see things on 35 millimeter anymore. So
I would also think, because there's so much content now and there's so many different ways to consume that content, it actually heightens our role and our position because you need someone to cut through all of that. It's impossible to consume everything that's out there. You couldn't come close. I mean, just using Netflix as an example, I don't even know how many films they drop in a year at this point. But some of them come with very little fanfare, and they allow the audience to discover it for themselves. That's, to an extent, that works, but sometimes it doesn't. And you need people to tell you, hey, guys, you might want to pay attention to this. And so we like to do that in 2 ways. We like to put it on screen first and shine that light, and then help it build its audience. And it's just going to continue to grow. I mean, we're weeks away from Apple TV launching or Apple TV Plus launching. We're weeks away from Disney Plus launching. We're months away from Peacock and HBO Max launching. There's the content is gonna just double, triple, quadruple,
Right.
and you're not gonna be able to know where to look. So hopefully people are gonna look to us and see that our role as a curator will help them find interesting things through that path.
Excellent, love it. So for those in Philadelphia or willing to come to Philly in the next 2 weeks, how can they find out more about the festival, get tickets, or if they're away from the city but want to support the endeavor, to support the Philadelphia Film Society?
So the easiest way to find out about the festival is to go to the website, which is www.filmadelphia.org. That's FILMADELPHIA.org. If you want to find out just about the festival, you can just throw a /festival on it, and it'll take you directly there. If you want to look at everything else we have, it's a fun website. There's a lot to see, so you can navigate around. You can also come directly to this building, to the Philadelphia Film Center. We've got program guides, we've got box officers who will talk to you about things. And then once the festival starts on the 18th, we'll have additional box offices at the Ritz East and Ritz 5, so you can go there as well.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much. All right.
Thank
you. Hi, I'm Andrew Greenblatt.
I'm Michael Lerman from the Philadelphia Film Society, and you're watching Real Black.